All right, for those of you watching after the fact, welcome. My hair's a mess, so I've got a cap on this evening. Although I'm not a participant or really an observer of 4th of July or holidays in general, I'm still calling this live stream 4th of July hangout. Last night on the 3rd of July, I did a little outdoor thing where I was outdoors and just getting an audio recording of the fireworks going off and stuff. The forecast said rain tonight, so I didn't know if we are going to get a chance for fireworks sounds tonight. But it's been raining all day, and the rain basically lightened up. So I'm hoping, here's hoping that it'll continue to not rain, if that's the phrase, and stay non-raining for the rest of the evening. And I thought, well, this would be kind of cool to just do a live stream into the evening and have the windows open, and or the window open I should say, and just talk about this and that or whatever, and also enjoy the the explosions, the simulated war as it were that happens around this time of year every year in North America. So join me. I don't know if anyone's going to join me, but you certainly have the option to join me. Join me on this first of, this is really kind of cool, honestly, this just hangout on 4th of July evening into the night, and see how much kabang and boom and smash and bam and blam and all kinds of simulated war sounds we can hear throughout the course of the evening, and also hopefully talk movies and whatever else people might want to talk about. I mean, if I don't want to talk about something, I'm not going to talk about something. But it doesn't mean you're not welcome to. I mean, I'm like frickin'. There's no one here yet, so I'm like talking to no one unless you're watching after the fact or whatever. But yeah, if no one shows up after a while, I'll probably just duck away or whatever. I may duck away every now and then, or well, I probably won't if people actually show up and are participating. But 4th of July, we'll see if anyone shows up. If no one shows up, then no one shows up. But I probably, yeah, if no one shows up, I don't know how long I'll go, because it'll just be like me sitting in front of the camera. We shall see. But at any rate, I'm here for 4th of July North American festivities. That's what they do, is they simulate war with their little, God, I hope people, I always worry that people are going to get, mortally wounded every time 4th of July rolls around this time of year and all their explosions. Looks like we have a viewer. Welcome. This is the 4th of July freaking hangout. We'll just hang out as it's kind of starting to sort of get dark. We'll have the window open and see if we can hear any simulated war explosion sounds. But I got a bottle of water here. I may or may not need to go get another bottle of water later. We'll just see how this goes, this being a first of, it's kind of weird, like me just sitting in front of the camera. So like I say, I don't know, yeah, so someone showed up and they disappeared, so probably because they saw this. But actually it looks pretty good on here, so I hope someone shows up to enjoy how good it looks pretty good. So there you go. Got a bottle of water here. I kind of intended, well, like I say, if no one shows up, then I don't know how long I'll go. But assuming someone shows up, it is like, I guess it's like a holiday, so if it's understandable if people don't show up. Currently no one here, so that's cool. Yep. There was a report not very far away, a local report. It's so funny how they call, there's different words for different things. They're the same words for different things. Like, I think, that you can call that a report, like just the explosion of a little firecracker or whatever. It's like a report, I think. It's funny how, like I say, the same words are used for different things, like gay. I'm feeling gay, I mean, it could mean happy or something else. Mm-hmm. So, oh, well, I guess while we're waiting for people to show up, if they're gonna, assuming they show up at all, I guess we could run through this cool thing I found on here. Well, maybe, yeah, why don't we just do it since, hell with, well, now I have to do it because I mentioned it. But there's all these different, I think, well, my favorite is this one, all these different like filters. So this is 8 millimeter. Now, how cool is that? That's 8 millimeter. That's pretty cool. I pondered doing the whole thing that way, but I don't think so. That is just nothing. Here's noir, film noir. That's kind of cool. Looks like 16 millimeter black and white. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure how long I'm gonna go if no one shows up. Mm-hmm. Here we are in noir. You wanna explore? What's this? This is slate. It's like less contrasty. That's pretty cool too. Slate. Dawn. Dawn. This is dawn. Dawn. You wanna take a bubble bath? Take a bubble bath? Here we're taking a bubble bath. Boy, what did we do without this technology? Bing, bing, bing. It explores the sequel. Oh shit! I was gonna say, you know how they went from Alien and the sequel was Aliens? I was gonna say Explorers, but it's already got an S on the end. The first movie, Explorers is the sequel to Explorers. Look at dun 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 ting 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 ting. Can you move it over here? Ting ting ting. It's like asteroids. Oh, that's cool. It's look like some of the ones that like pretend they get closer to camera go out of focus. This is Dance Party. Dream. Dream. Dream, dream, dream. Someone showed up to that. Dream. Dream, dream, dream. Anyway, that's called Dream. This is Glamour. This is good though, 8 millimeter. Looks like we got a viewer. Welcome. Just doing a 4th of July hangout to document the explosions with the window open and talk to anyone who wants to show up and chat. Yep. There we go. We got some nearby explosions. I probably should have brought down earplugs. Or brought up earplugs or brought over earplugs. Yeah. Yeah, anyway, there's a bunch of filters on here, and this is documentary. This is sepia, silver screen. That's pretty cool. Haunt, which is basically negative, and sketch, which is bogus. I mean, that's just like bogus. Let's go to the beginning. What's this? I can't. is that they call it beam? Here's nothing. It's not much different than it's kind of more contrasty. What's this? Is this blush? I mean, it kind of takes the contrast away. Pop, crush, glow. Yeah, slate, and back to noir. Dawn, bubbles. Yeah, you know, I think 8 millimeter is pretty good. We've got a viewer, we've got a lurker, so well, thank you for showing up and lurking. I'm not exactly sure how long I'll do this if no one starts talking, so, mm-hmm. But until then, we're here, or I'm here. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. 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 Yeah, back in the, as we just took it for granted back in the days of the 80s and, before the 80s and stuff, when you'd have all these movies with all these great composers of scores like Jerry Goldsmith, Elmer Bernstein, John Barry, a lot of these guys that are no longer with us. We just took it for granted, the great music in those movies. And then, like, for the most part, I mean, I don't see a lot of movies in the 21st century, but for the most part, I mean, movie music has just really fallen down and gone to hell and stuff. But yeah, like John Barry, like I recently found a DVD, clearance DVD of Out of Africa. It was never a movie that I had any interest in seeing, and it's just not my kind of movie. And having seen it, it's still not my kind of movie. But I looked on the back of the DVD case at the credits, and it said music by John Barry. I was like, okay, have my $3. That's good enough for me. And like the music, like John Barry's music is just like really good. I'm a big fan of John Barry scores, and he's like so like just rich with like just passion in the music, you know. Big fan of John Barry music. My folks took me to see. We all went to see View to a Kill at the drive-in theater when it came out, the last Roger Moore James Bond movie, and that might have been the first time, or at least one of the first times I was exposed to John Barry's music, and I I wanted the cassette. I wanted the soundtrack cassette because I really loved the score. Even at that age, how the hell old would I have been? When the hell was that? 85? There's some nearby explosions. 85, I would have been, I don't know what I would have been, but single digits. But yeah, my parents were gracious enough to buy me the John Barry soundtrack cassette of View to a Kill. And I remember my dad's mom used to live in Montana, and me and him took a road trip to see her one summer, and we had that cassette, that View to a Kill soundtrack cassette playing, and going over from Minnesota to Montana, the road trip. You go through either, I don't know, we probably would have went through, I don't know if we would have went through one of the Dakotas in Montana and stuff, and I can still just like picture all them rolling hills and all that stuff. John Barry's music went so well with just driving through, one of the Dakotas in Montana, and dun 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 dun, and just the John Barry music for View to a Kill, and played it so much that I actually got tangled up in the car cassette player. And this is one of my memories of that trip. My dad, it got tangled up and we pulled it out of there, and he was like in the hotel room or something trying to fix it, the cassette, and it was just like, because it was so tangled and we were just trying to straighten it out or something, and at one point he just got so frustrated, he just like tears it apart. Needless to say, I'm pretty sure I ended up getting another View to a Kill soundtrack cassette, but it's so funny, like out of that whole road trip, to and from Montana, that's like the one thing I remember is just We've got someone. We've got Steve. He says, just pop in to say happy 4th of July from a Canadian. Okay, well, thank you very much for popping in to say that. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. I do. Thank you. But yeah, the road trip to Montana, scored by John Barry's music from View to a Kill, and until it got tangled in the car cassette player, and my dad tried to fix it and ripped it to pieces. I mean, I didn't blame him for just spazzing out and in a fit of rage, just I was right there with him. It was frustrating. Yeah, but anyway, John Barry's music, very. I mean, it almost just brings wells up tears in your eyes, like some of the stuff, you know, and just I don't know if you can get more just poetic and delicate as John Barry's scores. I mean, so unbelievably beautiful. I'm a big fan of another one that I think that is really, really meaningful for me in my childhood is Elmer Bernstein. The music Ghostbusters might be the first Elmer Bernstein music I ever heard, and I'd go on to hear, and the music in Ghostbusters is so amazing. I love Elmer Bernstein as well, and I'm a huge fan of the movie Meatballs, and the music in that is amazing, and of course the score aspect of heavy metal, like just you've got these like John Barry and Elmer Bernstein, you've got these music score writers that just do this amazing stuff to like when you hear their names or you think of their names, you just feel great, like wow, what contributions they made. Just such. What the hell was it that I was watching? Oh, yeah. I just recently, for the first time, saw whatchamacallit, the final Hitchcock movie, Family Plot, and I didn't know who did the music, but like instantly when the music started playing, I'm like, oh, that's John Williams. It's just like you can. It's interesting how you can tell based on if you're well versed in whatever film music, you can tell. I guess I could just sit here and, well, someone is here. Sit here and just blab even if no one comments. I mean, it's a frickin', in North America, it's a holiday. Oh, we do have Austin. Hey, Austin. Thanks for showing up. Yeah, I thought I'd do this. Thanks for showing up, Austin. I thought I'd do this hangout because turns out the forecast was wrong. It's not raining. It was raining all day and it lightened up. So with any luck, we're gonna get the sounds of the simulated war coming in the window. This way, best of both worlds. People can actually see something, and hopefully we can get the sound at the same time. Plus, I'm not out among all the mosquitoes. So Austin said something. Oh, he said it just rained where he is in Broken Arrow, Oklahoma, assuming he still lives there. I'm sure he does. Okay, yeah, it was raining all day, and it actually led up for them to hopefully blow off their simulated war, and then it's supposed to just be raining for the next several days. So, yay us! But okay, he still lives in Broken Arrow. I've got 0 viewers right now, and you're still here. That's so weird. But Austin, for all those who want to know, Austin still lives in Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. So go visit him. I'm wearing a baseball cap because I didn't feel like doing my hair. It works out. It works out. This is like an impromptu. I was thinking about what to do. You know, I debated being outside, but I'm like, it's such a drag with the mosquitoes. Plus, it'd be nothing but dark again, just like last night. So I'm like, okay, open the window, sit by a window, open the window, no mosquitoes. I already covered all that, but yeah. So hopefully we'll get a lot of simulated war sounds coming in the window, and maybe in the meantime talk movies or whatever. But yeah, there's zero. I'm seeing 0 viewers, which is really strange. If Austin is still here, that's really weird. And we're currently on the this thing or this app for the phone has these cool filters or whatever you want to call it. We're currently on 8 millimeter. Austin forgot to mention he pre-ordered that Arrow Silence of the Lambs 4K. It's UK only though. Imports are expensive. I'm assuming you've got a what the hell is that? Region-free player? Or wait, 4Ks have no region. 4Ks have no region. Is that correct? If that's true, that's like one of the actual only good things about. Yeah, okay. Region-free 4Ks. Well, there you go. That makes things simple. Okay. Yeah, Austin's definitely really getting into the 4K thing, that's for sure. Silence of the Lambs. Okay. Yeah, I had to try to remember what the hell title he talked about. Congratulations. Austin got sucked into the 4K format. Did you get any of those James Cameron ones? Aliens, True Lies, or The Abyss? I'm in the market to get The Abyss so I can have the normal Blu-ray that comes with it, but the price is not cooperating. So I'm assuming I'll be able to get it cheaper at some point, so I'm just waiting. And it's not a big deal to me. He got all 3 of the Cameron 4Ks. Okay, what's what's your thoughts? Um, Maybe you've already talked about this. You might have already talked about this at a fire. Yeah, apologies if you've already told us, but how's True Lies look? Mm-hmm. But yeah, I can just remember driving through Montana, or riding through. I wasn't driving at my age, but actually, I don't know if it was, it might have been later on when I was 12. My dad actually did let me drive on the freeway. I remember he was speeding at one point, trying to get there, get home, or get there quicker, and he was disappointed when he got a ticket. I'm kind of thinking, well, you probably shouldn't speed if you don't want a ticket, but I was just thinking that in my mind. But yeah, I'm pretty sure he let me drive on the freeway when I was 12. I wouldn't let my 12-year-old drive. I'll tell you, I don't even trust anyone driving but me. Austin says Aliens 4K looked fine to him, although a bit too much grain is reduced, but not the complete Waxfest people make it out to be. Okay, that's Austin's review of the Aliens 4K. Perhaps he'll give us his thoughts on the other 2. Yeah, getting darker around here. I probably started this a little soon, but that's me. Austin says True Lies looks the worst, but I don't think it's horrible either. At least it's anamorphic and has features now. Okay, The Abyss looks the best. Okay, good. Yeah, someday I'll probably end up with The Abyss and True Lies. I mean, just for the Blu-ray, of course, as I've not graduated to 4K and have no plans of doing so anytime soon. Looks like we got a thumbs up, aka Hitchhiker. Thank you very much. Once again, back to 0 on current viewers. That's just strange. That is strange. This actually looks pretty good on the screen. We're currently still in 8mm, which is pretty cool. Pretty cool. As it gets darker, hopefully we'll hear more simulated war sounds. Simulated war. Yeah, a little dead air right now, but that's life. That's why I just as soon have a fire in the shot, because when I have nothing to say, it's not awkward like it is when the camera's aiming at me. It's just like, mm-hmm. I'll probably have to get up and stretch from time to time. Mm-hmm. Well, thanks for showing up, Austin. Earlier, before you showed up, we had a Canadian stop on by just to say hello. Happy 4th of July from a Canadian. So that was cool to have someone say something. Took a while this time for someone to show up. Like last night, people showed up right away, probably because it wasn't a holiday like it is now. It's a federal holiday in North America. Simulate War Sounds Day. Oh, this is still here. What's that? Graham says, hold on, disappeared. It'd be nice if it could just stay there. Graham says, am I still finding any VHS in the wild? Well, I'm, pretty much once a week I visit Half Price Books and always look at their VHS, and there's some stuff that was interesting, but I only get the stuff that interests me more than just a little bit. So there's that. What's great about that is like there's always more oftentimes than not something new. So they had some cool stuff. The most recent, well, I've actually got a video coming up, and whenever it ends up published, I ended up finding a sealed VHS of, I'm not actually going to even spoil it, a sealed VHS from 1990 of a title that maybe a lot of people that watch my channel won't really care about, but I thought it was cool and it was $1, so I'm like, oh hell yeah. It's a movie that I kind of recently got into, so you guys are just going to have to wonder what it is for weeks until it's published, but yeah. The finding VHS is really fun, like that Buck Rogers that I found. Finding that stuff's really fun, and it's gotten to the point where a lot of the stuff I buy just to showcase. But I actually did watch that Buck Rogers tape, and that was fun to watch. Just this archaic frickin' film to tape transfer. So it's like I said in the video, part buy it to showcase and part to own or whatever. But yeah, I mean if it's inexpensive enough, which luckily VHS tapes are, I go for it. Back in the day, 10 years ago or maybe even 5 years ago, at half price, all VHS were $1 each because they weren't worth as much. And now there's like more interest, so each tape is priced, you know, differently based on what they think it's worth based on whatever internet search. So it was much better. Same with laser discs. It was much better back in the day when every laser disc and every VHS tape was like $1. But yeah, looking for VHS is fun. Mm-hmm. As it's getting darker, it's getting darker. Currently, I'm showing no viewers, so I don't know if that means just Austin's here. You don't count. Now it's back to one viewer. Getting darker. Austin says the Abyss and Aliens have both cuts on the 4K and Blu-ray disc. Okay, good. Yeah, I mean I already got Aliens Blu-ray, so I don't need another one of those. But definitely glad to have both cuts of The Abyss. I'm not exactly sure which one I like more. I think like in the case of The Abyss, like there's arguments can be made that theatrical does have its benefits. I think extended of Abyss may be a little long, but it is still cool to see the extent. It's like with The Abyss, it's kind of like whatever you feel like at the time, at the moment. You know, how much time do I have, and how much do I want this to be stretched out? Austin says Abyss Special Edition makes more sense. Mm-hmm. There's that. Mm-hmm. This is such a great way to just frickin' not do your hair and just. Now I know why so many people do it in videos. Just throw on a hat. Heck with, heck with, grooming. You've got Garcia. He says All American Murder with Christopher Walken deserves a Blu-ray. Okay. Can't say I've even heard of it. Austin says The Lawnmower Man has one of those longer cuts as well, which is strange. Yeah, I did years ago get the Scream Factory Blu-ray of that, and that is a weird movie. Like the difference between the two cuts is really like substantial. That Yeah, me and my dad saw Lawnmower Man in the second run theater. Would that have been late '91 or maybe early '92? I can't remember when it came out in the theater. Austin's got that Scream Factory Blu-ray of Lawnmower Man as well. Austin says 92. Huh. I thought it came out in the fall of 91, but maybe it was early 92. Okay. Was that one of the last movies that Jenny Wright was in before she went down the drug and got into drugs and destroyed her life? Lawnmower Man 2 has a Blu-ray too, laugh out loud. Yeah, I got the DVD of that at this place where you could just bring in and trade, which was kind of cool. I still never watched it yet, but I do have the DVD I got, well, just by trading a DVD that was a piece of crap. By trading another DVD in, I got Lawnmower Man 2. Garcia says Highlander Endgame has a great extended cut. I'm glad to hear it. Austin says, yep, Jenny Wright disappeared after that and hasn't recovered since. Jiminy Christmas. She was so good looking back in the day. Like, I'm a big fan of I, Madman, and she's really great looking in that. Garcia says, Jenny Wright vanished after I, Madman. Well, after Lawnmower Man. But it's funny how Man is in both of those movies. Austin has that Highlander Endgame DVD as well. Well, maybe I'll show you the outside while I open this water. It looked all mysterious, just yanking it out of the... See, it's getting darker. Yanking it out of the shot. Like, what's he going to do with that? Mm-mm. Water. I was doing like a race car. Like there's gears to a chainsaw. I tell you. I think Austin did say something. What'd he say? Or someone said, oh, okay. Austin says she's not that great looking anymore. Sadly, drugs really messed up her looks. Yeah, I don't doubt it. Yeah. Yeah, well, plus age, there's that too. Garcia says someone found an extended cut of Return of the Living Dead 3. I think Austin gave us that news last night, but thank you, Garcia. Let's see if Austin says, I already said that. InfoWars. Looks like we got three viewers, welcome. We're currently in the 8 millimeter. What do they call it? What did I say? What is this called? 8 millimeter. What's this called? Filter, which is really cool. 8 millimeter filter on this 4th of July 2024. We're got the window open, and we'll hopefully get a bunch of kabooms and bangs and blasts. Get it on the microphone while we talk movies and former attractive women. Garcia says Superman 2, the Donner cut, is entertaining. Okay. I remember, watching Superman 2 as a kid on home video and being so distraught when he goes into that thing and gets his Superman powers taken away. Like it like affected me like so negatively. Like it was such it was so traumatic to have Superman give up his powers for this woman. You know, it was like traumatized me, and then getting beat up at the bar. I mean, it was just like, wow, traumatizing. There's the outdoors. I don't know how well you can hear. I can hear some bangs and booms, but you guys might not be able to hear it. I'm hoping at some point, once it gets dark and stuff, we'll hear all of the just barrage of stuff. So, stick with us. Stick with me. Stick. Stick 'em up. Garcia says the German version of Making Contact from Roland Emmerich is better. Oh, Roland Emmerich did that. I remember that. If I'm thinking of the right movie, that cover creeped me out when I was a kid in the video store. Is that the one where the kids like the closet doors opening and like there's a scary like dummy or something in the artwork or some scary thing that scared me as a kid in the video store. Am I thinking of the right cover? Well, at least for those people who want to blast off their simulated war fireworks that they purchased for this evening, at least the rain stopped long enough for them to do it. And since the rain stopped, I'm like, yeah, I might as well do this and document it. See how it shows. See how it picks up on the microphone. Garcia says this. Oh, the scary supernatural puppet. Okay, so I'm thinking of the right cover art. Yay me. If anyone wants to let me know on the chat, can you hear any of that fireworks? Because if you can hear that, I'm sure you'll be able to hear whatever comes later that will most likely be louder. Like if someone ever, I shouldn't put this idea out in the universe, but if someone ever wanted to invade the USA, like 4th of July is a perfect night to do it because no one's going to think anything of all the gunshot sounds and explosions, It's like Halloween, you wait to go out on a murder spree on Halloween where you can carry a body around from the back of the house to the front and in the front door without anyone raising an eyebrow. It's kind of like Invasion USA. That was around Christmas time. It wasn't 4th of July. It would have been a good idea to do it on the 4th, but it was funny to see the Christmas decked out yards get blown up. I mean, For, it wouldn't be funny in real life, but I probably have to stretch at some point. Oh, I've been sitting like this for 40 minutes. We've got Graham. Graham says, what happened to the Friday commentaries you did with another guy 2 summers back? They should be still there. What do you mean? Oh, you don't mean commentaries, you mean discussions? Yeah, we did one through, what do we do, 1 through 6? They should still be available. I made a playlist for the movie discussions. Is that your question? They should still be listened toable in the playlist for movie discussions. Garcia says Night of the Creeps has a great alternate ending. Okay. You can hear like a emergency vehicle. Someone probably had something go off in their face. I get so worried for people on this time of year that they're gonna blast. Something's gonna go wrong with their. I mean, I guess it doesn't affect me if they're doing it elsewhere, but I still don't want other people to get hurt with explosions. Garcia says he always want a hardcore Friday the 13th Part 7 R-rated version with the additional scenes and the additional gore. Yeah, that's like one of the holy grails for Friday the 13th fans. Like, it's probably never going to happen, but if they could find, surviving 35 millimeter elements of all that, the cut gore from that's like one of the, well, I already said it, holy grails for us Friday fans. But yeah, agreed. Every time I watch it and I see him start to crush that guy's head, I kind of, my mind cuts to that VHS, deleted scene of it, that scene, and just crushes it like a sponge, I think. I gotta rewatch them deleted gore scenes from that movie. Garcia says Nightbreed has a terrific extended cut. I recently got that. The Scream Factory Blu-ray. I think it was $10 at half price, and I'm like, ooh. If memory serves, is it true that there's 2 different extended cuts of that? If that's the case, I just got the main extended cut. To me, it seems like there's like something called the Cabal cut or something in addition to the extended. How does that work? Maybe Austin knows. Are there 3 cuts of Nightbreed or just 2? But yeah, for me, like my favorite part of Nightbreed is Richard Cronenberg's character. Like, even ever since I was a teenager and first saw it, I'm like, he's the coolest thing about that movie. Oh, Graham meant what happened about continue, doing more of those. Yeah, life changed for me, and I don't have as much time, clearly, as I'm just wasting it in front of this camera right now. But yeah, time changed for me since those days, and other factors as well. But I'm thinking possibly, I mean, don't quote me, things can change, but I'm thinking possibly maybe doing at least Friday 7 with him this winter, my winter. My winter is his summer in Australia. So, but my winter, if I have enough time. But life, the main reason why is life changed a bit for me since we were doing all those. Like, I don't have as much free time. So that's the main reason that stopped, in addition to other reasons. Austin says he's got 4 cuts a night breed. Oh hell. Laugh out loud, he says. There's talks of Night of the Creeps possibly getting a 4K. Okay, well that's good for fans of Night of the Creeps. 4 cuts a night breed, huh? Let's see what it looks. It's getting darker. Getting darker. No feedback. Can I have some feedback if people want to? Can you hear any of the distant fireworks at all? It'll give me an idea of what you can hear on here. Yep, just doing a hangout on a 4th of July. Garcia says Hellgate from 1990 is a weird film just like Demon Wind. I think I have it on a double feature DVD with something. What is that on a double feature DVD with? Is that Mountaintop Motel Massacre? Hellgate. Yeah, it's on like an Anchor Bay double feature with another movie. Either that or The Pit. I think I've seen it once. I don't remember it. I haven't seen Demon Wind. Austin says Death Machine got a recent 4K release, he thinks. Ever seen that movie? No, but I remember the cover art in the 90s was like that claw or whatever. That robotic claw with like, does that blood dripping off it? Austin says Demon Wind was kind of, pardon me, kind of good. Well, I'm glad to hear it. Oh, 9:13 in Minnesota. I expect things to really go crazy once it gets dark. Well, I guess I'll have to listen to it back later on to see if you can hear the frickin' fireworks. Okay, Garcia says The Pit and Hellgate double feature DVD. Okay, yeah, I knew it was that or Mountaintop Motel Massacre. Austin recently watched this movie called Zombie Death House with John Saxon starring and directing. Wow. That'd be fun. Graham asks if I'm near Canada. Well, I'm someplace, my official location for this channel is I'm somewhere, I'm located somewhere in Minnesota. So even if even if I happen to be, I guess, closer to Iowa, I'm still closer to Canada than a lot of people are. So I'm somewhere in Minnesota, relatively close to Canada. Garcia loved rewatching Spaced Invaders, My Science Project, and Teen Wolf. I can't remember if I've seen Spaced Invaders. I think I've got My Science Project. And I watched Teen Wolf back in the day. Pretty sure I've got the DVD. When I was a kid, Teen Wolf TOO made no sense to me. I mean, I didn't really know what that. Yeah, I didn't understand why it wasn't, just the number 2. It was like Teen Wolf as well. I didn't understand, I guess I didn't know what TOO meant, you know. I should have got two of these. Here's a thing for roasting stuff over the fire. It extends to a decent length. It's got the protective rubbers on there. Garcia loves to rewatch the Ernest films like the one about camp, jail, and Scared Stupid. Okay, yeah. Never was a big fan personally, but hey, that's okay. I'm really glad you enjoy them. And Garcia's got the Funhouse. So you're talking about the early '80s Toby Hooper movie? Yeah, I've gotten to be a pretty big fan of that one over the years. I think originally, like in the early '90s, Keith introduced me to the Funhouse, and I think the only thing I really liked about it at the time was the shower scene, and now I like the rest of it. So, in addition to the shower scene, so yeah, the Funhouse. It's strange how movies grow on you. As time goes on and as you change, your tastes change. It's really interesting. Okay, yeah. So the Toby Hooper Funhouse. Yeah, I think that's really classic nowadays. And the Scream Factory Blu-ray looks really great. I would imagine that's on 4K as well, which I don't have. So, but the Blu-ray is fine for me. But yeah, another thing about the Funhouse I love is the music. You know, can you hear that? Now they're really starting to. It's getting pretty dark now, so they're really starting to blast those. Garcia says Tourist Trap is getting a remake. No, don't say it. Don't say it. Ah, ah, yeah. Ah, that is so sad. Thanks for ruining my night, my 4th of July. Graham says, what summer movies are you watching? What do you mean by summer movies? Well, I guess I'll answer with my answer, like movies that take place in the summer or like former blockbusters. I don't know. I'll just answer it. For as far as movies that take place in the summer, I really tend to try to watch. I watched Meatballs already. I got to watch that again. Like normally I only watch it once a year, but god dang, when I haven't seen that for a while, and when I watched it again, that was like, wow, I really like that movie. But like the first 7 Friday the 13th, Sleepaway Camp, the first 3 Sleepaway Camps. Actually, the third one is more of a fall movie for me because it was made in the fall. But yeah, stuff like that, Just Before Dawn and Summer Rental and uh, National Lampoon's Vacation, stuff like that. Garcia says Burnt Offerings should be remade. Okay. Austin says Tourist Trap remake won't work. It's too weird of a movie. Yeah, they're never going to capture that really, really cool weirdness, without that Pino, however the hell you say his last name, music. And, they're never going to capture the great feeling of the original movie. I mean, it's just, remakes are just, oh my God. So I agree, Austin. Garcia says Summer, Twisters, Deadpool, and Wolverine, and Long Legs. Oh, did he mean what movies am I going to see this summer? Yeah, the only one I'm really interested in is I'm just I mean I don't expect it to be much of anything, more or less a rehash of the original, but I'm interested. I think I'm going to drag Beth to see Twisters. because, you know, I'm an outdoors guy and a fake CG created severe weather guy, and you know, the having seen the original in the theater back in the day and liking it, and still do like Twister. I'm curious about Twisters. I think unless I can't I don't even know what the hell else is even coming out that I have any interest in. I don't have a lot of hope for movies these days. Graham says North Shore from '87 is good. Can't say I don't think I've ever heard of it, but thank you. Garcia says One Crazy Summer and Summer Rental rule along with Great Outdoors. I don't think I've seen One Crazy Summer. Summer Rental is classic to me, of course. Great Outdoors, I'm familiar with. Austin says, "What the hell is long legs?" Exactly. That's kind of what I was wondering. Austin says Twisters might be okay. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not expecting anything, but it really's got that. I think it's going to really have the feel, you know, like the basic feel of the first movie, but I don't think the characters are going to be anywhere near as interesting as, you know, the characters in the first movie, because characters generally aren't interesting these days. Garcia says Let It Ride with Richard Dreyfuss and What About Bob are great. Yeah, I've seen What About Bob, not the other one. I should rewatch What About Bob. Did that ever come out on Blu-ray? Is it stuck on DVD? Garcia says Maxine is coming out. Yeah. These are going to be published weeks. I don't know when the hell they're going to. It might be not for weeks, but I did review X and Pearl, and when I did those, I wasn't even aware of Maxine, so I kind of talk in those reviews like there's just two movies. So that's bad on me, but I don't really keep up with popular culture. So yeah, I mean, I'll probably see Maxine for free on streaming or something. I'm not going to go to the theater to see it because I'm not a big fan of the first two. Garcia says Heretic is coming out. I don't know what that is. Graham says White Water Summer, another title probably. Garcia says Summer Job is fantastic. Huh. Garcia says Longlegs killer film with Nicolas Cage. Oh, okay. Austin says, is Helen Hunt going to be in Twisters in some form? I don't, from what I understand, I don't think so. As far as I know. Maybe she'll do a cameo. I doubt it, though. She can be the aunt this time around that they rescue from a house. Garcia says, Nuns on the Run is hilarious. That sounds familiar. Is that from the 80s? Austin recently watched Willy's Wonderland. Not too bad. Okay. Garcia said, Beetlejuice. One thing I will give that movie is that's a pretty good title. And if they did a third one, obviously we'd know what it'd be called. But I don't know if I'm gonna. Part of me might be interested enough to go see it in the theater. We may possibly go see that, Beetlejuice 2. But I do think the title's pretty good. Because isn't the saying his name 3 times? That's why there's got to be 3 movies. I imagine, like with Barbie, Beetlejuice 2 I would imagine that would do pretty good. Austin says she's definitely old enough to play, yeah, the aunt now. Yeah, exactly. She's probably the age the woman who was the aunt in the original movie was. We've got, I don't know how to pronounce this, Keyyon 29 says happy 4th of July. Well, thank you. Thanks for showing up and saying happy 4th of July. We've currently got, you know, I don't know if you guys can hear them. No one will tell me in the comments if they can hear them, but we've got the window open so you can hopefully hear the fireworks going off. Thanks for showing up, and for the 4th 4th of July wishes. Graham says there is a drive-in here, which is good to have. Oh, drive-in theater? I'll say you're really lucky. The one that was closest to us is probably closed indefinitely, unfortunately. We went to that as much as 4 times a summer. And I think the last time we went to that was, the last year it was open, I think it was 21, I think. It's kind of a bummer. Garcia says, Helen Hunt was great in As Good as It Gets. Garcia says, Blind Date with Bruce Willis is fun. I think I've seen that. Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce your name. We'll just say 29 says fireworks going off over here where he is as well. Yeah, I imagine they're going off all over the country if you're in North America. Garcia says the dream team with Michael Keaton and Christopher Lloyd is a riot. Hit the road, Jack. Yeah, I'd agree. That I think I saw it when it was relatively new on home video. That was pretty fun. Haven't seen it for a while. I think I got the DVD. I'm gonna probably have to stand up and stretch soon. That's what it's looking like here. And you should be able to hear the fireworks ramping up, I would imagine. Been going for like an hour. What the hell time is it? The hell. 9:30 more or less. Garcia says Best of the Best 1 and 2 are fun. I don't think I ever saw those, but that's okay. I'm glad you enjoy them. You know, we can't all enjoy the same things, but it's cool that we each enjoy different things as well, and we can also cross over on certain similar things as well. Garcia says Wacko is a bizarre horror parody. Oh, looks like 29 is must be in Central Time Zone, or in the same time zone. Austin says he's got to leave early, going to a movie tonight. Have a good night. Oh, okay. He's not even going to tell us what movie on a movie channel. I see how it is. Well, thanks for showing up, Austin, and we'll catch you next time. You have a good night as well, and enjoy that movie. Garcia says Student Bodies and its killer, the breather. Oh yeah, the killer in the Student Bodies, the breather is a hoot. Yeah, I you know, Keith. I think Keith showed me that as well in the early '90s, and I didn't think too much of it. But I've grown to become really fond of Student Bodies. Me and Beth watched it in the summer of 2020 to try to cheer us up, and it worked. Beth liked it, and I had fun with it because she was enjoying it. So that was a fun viewing. Yeah, Student Bodies is pretty fun. Graham says he's seen a Twisters 2 VHS box today. Out hunting Twisters 2. Oh, is there some movie called Twisters 2? Out hunting VHS. It must be some sort of phony straight to video. Yeah, I would imagine. Garcia says Axel F on Netflix was better than Beverly Hills Cop 3. Oh! We gotta watch that. I forgot about that. Thanks for reminding me about that. Yeah, that came out on yesterday, didn't it? It wouldn't be too difficult to be better than Beverly Hills Cop 3, but that's good to know. That's surprising that a movie now can be better than that. Let's see how dark it is. I can take this opportunity to stand up and stretch. Oh my God! Oh, oh, oh. Okay, sit back down. Pardon me. Yeah, thanks for the heads up. We gotta watch that. It's gonna be raining for like the next several days, so we can watch it. Thanks for the mini review of Axel F. You know, here's hoping that comes out on Blu-ray, like that one Netflix thing did, the Irishman or whatever. Because if it's good, it'd be really nice to have it on Blu-ray to put it with the other Beverly Hills Cop movies, you know. But chances you never know if a Netflix exclusive is ever gonna come out on Blu-ray or not. Garcia says, "Love Dolomite" from Eddie Murphy and Wesley Snipes. Oh, is that a movie? Yeah, people are really blasting them off. I don't know if you guys can hear them or not. Graham says, "No retreat, no surrender" is good. I remember that. I think I've got the VHS. That's what I can do if I want to break from being on screen, is just turn the damn camera. Um, Garcia says, "Drop Zone" from Wesley Snipes and Rising Sun are great. Yeah, Rising Sun, I remember that. I can't remember if I've seen Drop Zone or not. I may have blind bought the clearance DVD. Graham likes the big box style. You mean a big box VHS in general? Garcia says she went from, who's she? What are we talking about? Garcia. She went from, oh, you mean the movie She. She from the 80s is weird but fun. You're talking about the movie She, I think? Yeah, I can't say I've seen that, but like the cover art kind of is there on in my head, I think. Yeah, well, I guess I'll have to listen back later to see if you could hear the fireworks, because no one's telling me if they can or not. Garcia says Jim Kata is wild. I don't know what that is. Garcia loves Backdraft Part 1. Yeah, I can't agree, but That's okay. Did you happen to see the second one? I haven't seen it, but I thought it was funny when they came out recently with Backdraft 2. Yeah, I don't think I reviewed it, but I must have talked about it on a live stream or something. You know, I've had the Backdraft Blu-ray forever, and like last year or something, I watched it for the first time in forever, and I was just like, oh God. Not a fan myself, but hey, that doesn't mean you can't enjoy it. I'm just listening to all the chaos. Garcia says, good straight to video sequel Tremors 2. Yeah, you know, I remember it not being horrible. That was the era of like Tremors 2, 3, Darkman 2 and 3. I can't say Darkman 2 or 3 are really that great, but the Tremors sequels aren't horrible. Graham, he sounds like, or he says he can hear the fireworks a bit. Well, thank you for that report. Yeah, they're pretty distant, so they're not that loud. Garcia says, good straight to video action flicks, Death Race 2 and 3. Can't say I've seen them, but that's cool. Yeah, it's just something how many movies they've made. I mean, since movies began, ain't it? Ugh, unbelievable. There's like no way you could see them all. You gotta pick and choose. Of course, now it's July and Criterion sale is on, and I'm not too sure I'm gonna get anything. I was pondering the Roaring Twenties, but the DVD I got probably looks good enough, and it's not like I watch that very often. I still got no, I still got I think a Blu-ray that I got last July that I haven't even watched yet, the Royal Tenenbaums. Seen the movie, but I haven't seen the Blu-ray. And then I think it was either a year ago this month or November or whatever. I got the Last Emperor as well, and we haven't watched that yet either. I've seen it. I saw Last Emperor in the theater with my dad, but it's funny how us movie nuts, will buy all this stuff and some of it we don't even watch. Graham says he's in Canada. They go off on July 1st. Huh. Okay. Garcia says RIPD 2 was fun. Yeah, I think I've got the first one, but I don't think I've seen it yet. Garcia says Turbo Kid with Michael Ironside is tremendous. Okay, there's a lot of movies I haven't even heard of. Graham asks if I have any CEDs. Are those the vinyl movies? If they are, my dad and I, back when it was like $1 at half price, I don't even know why, just because I guess. I think we did buy like a James Bond CED just because it was $1 and we're like, this thing's wacky. And so if that's what I'm thinking it is, I've got like at least one. I think we only would have bought one because we couldn't, not like we could play it or do anything with it. So if that's what you're talking about, I've got at least one CED. CE. Is that what you're talking about? Graham says they look like Laserdisc, good art. Yeah, the whole thing that the like the flimsy ass little disc is in like a mini disc, only it's a Laserdisc size. So like the flimsy little disc is in this plastic case that presumably when you put in the player, like it opens it to be able to read like a mini disc. If anyone knows what mini discs are like, but yeah, just like with laser disc, you got all this space, big huge space, for artwork, which is cool. Yeah, I guess I could almost showcase that CED that I have of like one of the Roger Moore James Bond movies. I think it was $1, so or maybe even 50 cents. We'll get this for $1 or 50 cents. It's definitely dark now. Now I wonder what the hell movie Austin's going to see. He's too embarrassed to say. Just kidding. People in their fireworks. Yeah, I probably won't go crazy much longer. I'll stop when the fireworks die down, but I don't know when that'll happen. I'll tell you though, this 8 millimeter look is really cool. Graham says, "Did you rewatch Jaws yet this summer?" Oh my God, that's another one that I try to do at least once. Haven't seen it yet, unfortunately, but thank you for reminding me. Yeah, I mean the thing is, you get older, time goes so much quicker. Like summer's seems like it's gone in a blink of an eye, and it's like there's all these movies that you want to try to get in. Good call. Yeah, I try to do that once a summer as well. Jaws. Well, I generally do the first three because I like the first three, and four can go take a hike. Yeah, Graham says one and two. Yeah, I'm one of the people who actually really likes three. Oh, you know what else I recently saw on YouTube because I found out that it's on Kino Lorber Blu-ray, and I never heard of it before, but I was curious about it, and I looked it up on YouTube. Turns out the whole thing's on YouTube. Tentacles, kind of a Jaws with a big octopus, and very much like with the title of Jaws, it's the title is something, the deadly aspect of that animal. So when we do a giant octopus movie, the title of the movie is the deadly aspect of that animal, which are the tentacles. It's tentacles, and that was fun. That was good for a laugh. The first like 6 minutes or something are like great, and I was like so excited. But like after that, it just kind of gets boring. But tentacles, it's on YouTube if anyone hasn't seen it and wants to waste 90 minutes of their life. But tentacles. And the end's kind of like Jaws 2, where the kids are on sailboats and stuff. And they got so lazy with the production or the post production is that like the scenes that don't even have, it's just like music, you know, stuff going on screen with music and no sound effects. Or it's a fun, I think it's an Italian production, so it's got that Italian. Graham says that's good. He likes Orca. Yeah, Orca is actually a more or less competent, you know, Jaws ripoff. Tentacles is, well, it's Italian. If you know anything about like Italian, you know, kind of horror movies or whatever, you know, it's got that awesome Italian feel. There's another one I think I've talked about on live streams or whatever called, I got on VHS. I think it's on Blu-ray now, called Tintorera. I don't know how to pronounce it. Tintorera Tiger Shark. And that's kind of fun. But that one's kind of gross because they show like real sharks cut in half and that kind of stuff, you know, because that's an Italian movie as well and stuff. So, you know, they have no problem, you know, killing animals, showing real animal gore and stuff. And but yeah, that's almost like part Jaws remake and a rip off and part softcore porn. Like there's this one scene where like this one guy is just passing women around, and this woman's like, "Oh, he's great. You have a turn with him now." It's not like there's a lot of sex scenes, but like scantily clad women and just like swapping. You know, I think there's like two guys swapping these two women, and just very like adult film-esque, you know, dialogue. "Oh, he's great. You should try him." That's funny. Tintorera, Tiger Shark. That one's funny too. There's so many movies. Oh my God. So many movies. In so little time. Graham says Piranha is good. 2 isn't. Yeah, Piranha's another good one. 2's a guilty pleasure, but I agree it's no good. It's got that hot chick in it. Well, there's like 2 hot. There's an older hot woman and a younger hot chick. Well, there's actually more than one hot chick in Piranha 2. Piranha 2 has things I like about it, but admittedly, yeah, it's not that great. I'm really wondering what Austin's going to see, what movie he's going to see. What the hell's out right now? I can't think. I mean, I don't know what the hell's out right now. Why would I? Stretch. Oh. 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 Jeez. Oh, stretching's good. Let me see what time it is. 9:49. Someone said something. Graham says, is there any summer blockbusters anymore? Oh, you mean like the good old days of summer blockbusters and movies? I mean, not kind of like how we remember them, you know? It seemed like there were only a handful every summer, you know? And I think in a lot of ways, like the superhero genre really just flooded the market so much. They kind of almost ruined like the summer blockbuster thing, in my opinion. I mean, things just aren't the same. I mean, it's just what happens over time, you know. But I really don't think like summer blockbusters are like they used to be, where it was just like I don't know if it was just being a kid and seeing things differently, but it seemed like, when I was younger and stuff and there was a movie, like everyone was seeing it. Like everyone saw Jurassic Park, everyone saw Batman 89, but maybe it was just my younger, interpretation of the world, or the way I saw things through younger eyes. I don't know, but it just doesn't seem the same now than it was then. Graham was born in 76. He's seen a lot, Batman 89, etc. Yeah, we're the same age. So when we were 12, Batman was huge. And like everyone had the bat shirt on, and everyone that fall going back to school had the bat shirt on, you know. And yeah, I mean, even if you think about kids now, I mean, I don't think young people care as much about movies as we did. I think they're more online, social media, than they're they're going to see movies and really caring about movies. So it's just a different era, different era. But maybe it's just, it seems different, but that's because I'm an adult now and I was a kid then, and things seem different through different eyes, and kid eyes versus adult. But also nowadays, a lot of things, some things you can see like online. I don't know if they're doing it much anymore, but for a while there, some things, depending on what studio put it out, you could see things online opening day. It was in the theater, like Halloween, the two Halloween kills and ends and things and stuff. Graham says, I think the big flat screen TVs, Netflix. Oh, yeah, yeah. I think the reason is the big flat screen TVs, Netflix is no reason to go out. Well, that's part of it. That's absolutely part of it. Like people can experience the theater. Well, I'm one of them. Can experience the theatrical experience at home, so why go out? And I'm guilty of the same thing. But for me, like things like the recliners and reserve seating just really ruined it for me for movies. I mean, if you're my age, you might agree as well. Like it was just better to go to a theater. I mean, I just because of the age I am, I mean, I just grew up with going to a theater early to get a good seat versus this reserve seating garbage and these recliners and just the charade they've turned theaters into now. Graham remembers the video shops renting two movies, maybe a video game, and a pop and chips. You got it. Boy, well, that was enough to keep you entertained for a Friday and Saturday night. Yep. That's one thing they can't. Well, maybe they'll be able to someday, but for now, or at least they don't tell us about it. But one thing they can't take away from us is the memories of the good old days. But that's how it always is. Like, it's like, the older you get, the more it's like you look back on the early years fondly, and with whatever the hell it's called. Yeah, I guess fondly works. And look back at the days of old and long for them again, and do everything we can to try to go back there, watching old movies, listening to music that we were listening to at the time. Yeah, you see, like you don't know when you're a kid how special the time is, or maybe it just wasn't special and it seems special looking back on it. Who the hell knows? I'm sure getting goofy. It's because I've been doing this for 90 minutes. My brain's mush. Graham says, and if the movie sucked, you were stuck with it. Yep. Yeah, it's not like, streaming where you can just turn it off and switch to something else. But that also, I think, yeah, because I can remember being a teenager and, like, for a summer or something, I mean, it made you appreciate each movie more because, like, when you're a kid and have limited means, or if you're dubbing movies and things, you've only got so many movies to, like, just watch, to switch around from. I'm going to watch this, that, this, maybe 4 or 5 different, tapes for the summer, and you get, you get to know the movies better. You if you buy a movie, yeah, there's just something about it, like owning it, even if you like dub it from a rental or something. You still own it. You own the copy. But yeah, like I used to watch movies over and over and over as a teenager. And yeah, like I say, just different eras. The aging generation is always bitching and moaning about the new world that they find themselves in. It's nothing new. I'm surprised there's nothing louder, closer, but that's partly a good thing as well. Graham found a nice top loader VCR. What did he say? The good kind? Okay. What do you mean by the good kind? Do you like the top loaders? You call that a good kind? A buddy of my dad's gave us his old top loader. I'm assuming it doesn't work. I don't know if I've ever tried it, but I've actually got a top loader that he got from a buddy of his that I don't think I've ever. Maybe my dad said it didn't work. It makes me wonder. I should try it just for fun. But God, that thing is. It's really cool to have that because back in the top loading days, we didn't have. We didn't get a VCR until it was more like the mid to late 80s. We probably got a VCR in 86, and I think by then top loaders were mostly done, I would imagine. So it's cool that you got that top loader from my dad's buddy, because whether it works or not, I still got it. So that's cool. Graham says the first ones were the best. Early 80s, the 90s were light and cheap. Yeah, I just was thinking about that the other day. That it's like the first VCRs were some heavy duty stuff, and as years and years went on, the manufacturing got cheaper and cheaper of VCRs. I got one of those. I got it at Movie Gallery when I was working there. I got one of those tape rewinders, so I use that to save wear and tear on the VCR itself. So I'll eject the tape and put it in one of them tape rewinders, and then when it's really close to I don't let it go all the way to the end because it might rip off the tape. So when it's really close to the end, then I'll put it back in a VCR and finish the rewinding. But yeah, I try to baby the VCRs I got as much as possible by, not like rewinding or fast forwarding. Just put a movie in, let it play through, eject it and rewind it in the tape rewinder. Gotta baby your stuff. And Graham says, he remembers his dad renting a VCR early on. Yeah, that was something back in the day as well. I think you could even do that into the 90s. I want to say Blockbusters and even maybe mom and pop video stores rented out VCRs because, when they were still relatively new, not everyone had them. I remember a buddy of mine in '89. I think they had a, maybe it was a top loading VCR, but I remember laughing at them because the remote on their VCR had a wire going from the VCR to the remote. And I remember laughing at him like, ha ha ha, wire on your remote. Pardon me. But in retrospect, it's probably a really good VCR. I can't remember if it was a top loader or not. It might have been. I don't know. All I know is it had a wire from the remote that plugged into the VCR. That's an old VCR. That's cool. So I've been going for like 95, 96-ish minutes, and not sure how much longer I'm going to go because my back and neck hurts. Graham says that's the one I have, JVC. You got a wired remote? If so, that's cool. I won't make fun of you like I made fun of him. I don't think I really, made fun of him that much. It's just kind of like, ha ha. You got a wire, which is actually kind of better because you don't need batteries. I would imagine. I don't know, but I would imagine you don't need batteries if you got a wired remote. So there's a plus there. Yep, good old tech. Graham says the Goldbergs won. I don't know what that means. Got two viewers and one who's a mystery viewer who's not saying anything, and Graham who's saying stuff. Oh, we've got Mr. Dark. I don't know how often, I don't know if you've really even shown up much to live streams. Welcome, Mr. Dark. He says, "Hey Nate, guys, just stopping by to say." Oh, okay. He's gonna say a quick hello. Well, that's great too. A quick hello. Got off work late tonight and have to be right back bright and early in the morning. Sorry to hear that, Mr. Dark. Happy 4th of July, everyone. And he's got his famous emojis. Well, thank you very much, Mr. Dark. I appreciate that. Sorry to hear you got to go right back in bright and early. Oh, hell. Well, thanks for stopping in. That's cool. We appreciate it, or I do. I can't speak for anyone else. Graham says it's a TV. Oh, okay. So, okay. The Goldbergs is a TV show about the '80s. Okay. Yeah, I can't remember if Mr. Dark ever showed up in a or left a comment in a live show. That's cool. If you haven't, that's cool. Oh, it's cool either way. If you have or haven't, but I don't know if he's still with us, but that's cool. Thanks for showing up to say hey. I don't think I'll be on too much crazy longer. I'm surprised, unless it hasn't happened yet. Like usually, like you hear a big crescendo. It's possible it's too early still. There'll be this big crescendo of like things going nuts before it calms down. Might be still too early for the big crescendo. Mr. Dark says also hope to join in a full chat in the near future. Oh, okay. This is the first time. Well, that's really cool. Yeah. Hopefully you can in the near future, and I'm glad to see you in the chat for the first time on this one. It's not the last live stream, so hopefully you'll be able to in the future. It's all about schedules and people's schedules and all that kind of stuff. There's some more closer It's funny because yesterday people were maybe the people like closer by were blowing off their stuff. Maybe they thought that sounds good. Maybe they thought because the forecast said rain all it was supposed to be raining right now. Maybe they blew their stuff last night because they thought it'd be raining. But last night I did just like an audio only. It's just pitch black screen, and there was some people pretty close blasting off stuff. So they must have blasted their stuff yesterday. Graham says, "Do they have a parade?" I don't know anything about that. I would imagine. I don't know anything about that. We certainly do have them in the summertime, but whether they have a Fourth of July one or not, I don't know. It's possible. Here, I'm gonna get something that I brought down here. I thought it might be cool to show. Oh, oh. This is really cool. This is the lantern of all lanterns. Oh. Oh. One of the things I love about the first, one of the bazillion things I love about the first Friday the 13th movie is those old Coleman lanterns with the two mantles, and those are the old kind where you put whatever flammable stuff in there to ignite with the match, as can be seen in the movie. But this one's a more modern, you know. It's batteries. You got a whopping, what is it, 8 D batteries in this thing. But what's really cool about it, what I love about it, is it's an electric battery lantern, but it's got like the two mantles, kind of like the old-fashioned one that has the explosive gas that or lantern fluid or whatever that you pressurize with the pump. Well, this one's safe and easy. You've got a little switch. Look at how bright it is. And the batteries are really old. Flickering there at the beginning. Yeah, the batteries are really old. So that's probably why it's flickering. But this is low. This is the low setting. And it's got a dial that gets bright. It probably, I don't know if it's getting as bright as it could, because the batteries are really old. But I take them out when I'm not using it. But how cool is that? Just the frickin' battery powered lantern with the two mantles. That's really cool. I just love how it's got that old lantern look. Graham says, I was just thinking of that. We as kids would go to a camp very similar to Camp Crystal Lake. Yeah, I was very fortunate. I think it was like the spring of 1989. It was like at the end of class for that school year. We were very fortunate. I'd never gone to summer camp as a kid or anything. We were very fortunate. The whole class went for like a weekend to this one, more or less summer camp. It had a lake and the girls' cabin and boys' cabin and a place to everyone gathered to eat breakfast and stuff, and campfire pit and stuff. I would just feel so fortunate to have done that weekend, because if I hadn't done that weekend, I never would have experienced anything like that ever. And that, I was just thinking about that the other day, like how amazing that was, and how much I wish we had like technology of video cameras and and smartphones back then to be able to record it. I just would give anything, maybe not anything, but it'd just be so great to have even pictures of it, let alone video, you know. But it only exists right here. But that was, and they let us 12-year-old kids go out in the canoes by ourselves. It just seemed, I mean, it was great, but looking back on it, it just seemed like they let us out by ourselves. I imagine we had to wear, um, you know, life jackets and stuff. But yeah, very fortunate to have done that weekend. Graham just watched. I'm assuming he's talking about Friday the 13th, 1 to 4, then 6. Yeah, I don't blame you for skipping New Beginning. A lot of people don't like New Beginning. I think it's a hoot, but I understand why people wouldn't like it. Mr. Dark says, "Good night, guys. Get my old creaky bones to bed. Hope to talk again soon for a lot longer." Well, yeah, that'd be cool. Sleep well and be well and sleep well. Thanks so much for showing up, Mr. Dark, for first time in a live stream. Very cool. So hope to see you in the future. But I got this several years ago. I was just like, I mostly got it honestly to just display because it's got that old, really cool, classic Coleman lantern look. But it's also you know, obviously wonderfully functional. So it's got that going for it. But yeah, you know, there's so many things I love about the first Friday the 13th, and just like it's just so like cool that they're like carrying these old Coleman lanterns around, and just that one scene that just takes its time to have Bill just light the two lanterns like that, and it just takes its time. It's just so cool. And I think I talked about this in my fan commentary, but I'm pretty sure that dialogue between Alice and Bill in that scene wasn't originally there. It was added. They decided to add it in post production, and I'm pretty by the way the scene plays. It looks like, you know, she's asleep, and Bill lights these, you know, when she's asleep, sets one next to her and goes out to look, and then in post they decided, let's have them talk to each other. That way he can tell her what he's doing. That's what I think when I see that scene. Graham says he found an old backpack Friday one. Oh, cool. He found an old backpack Friday the 13th, the first movie style, like kind of like what was her name, Annie was wearing or something. That's cool. Yeah. Hey, girl. Excuse me. Hi, boy. You speak English, which is such a smart question to ask a dog. How far is Camp Crystal Lake? I'm going to do the whole movie if I get started, but how cool is that lantern? You know what it actually makes me want to do? Let me turn off. We'll show you the lantern here, and I'll turn off the other light, and we'll do lantern light for a bit. Lantern light. How cool is that? Oh. Graham says Coleman stuff are the best. Yeah, got my, I mean, aren't these just beyond classic? And this is just so cool with that old lantern look. And I'm pretty sure I got a couple tents over the years. I'm pretty sure they were both Coleman as well. Good old Coleman. That's actually pretty cool. Here, let me, oh shit, my water's low. Get that off there. That's a pretty, it's a pretty cool look, different look. But I feel bad. I had someone years ago, or at some point, ask about this bear head, and like, where did you get that? That's really cool. And I got it a long, long time ago at some. I don't even remember what the hell the name of the store was, but I felt bad that he couldn't, that he couldn't have the exact same thing because he liked the bear head. And I'm like, yeah, that's really cool. I'm really going for like rustic, woodsy kind of stuff, and I want to say it was on clearance or sale or something, and I was able to get Mr. Wooden Bear Head, and it just works really good for this environment here. Yes, it does. That's really kind of cool. Graham says I was the one who said the Camp Crystal. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Here, let me see. Disappeared. Here's the one who said get the Camp Crystal Lake sign painted. Yeah, that's an option. I'm probably too lazy to do it, but it's definitely an option. But like I say, where I've got it hanging, it's far enough away where it looks okay. But I hear you. Yeah, I decided to, save money and not go for the other one as well, and I'll just live with the one I got with that one for now. But yeah, I hear you. It'd be cool to have some artist, instead of having that piece of paper with the printed image on there, have an artist actually paint that on there. I mean, how cool would that be? It'd be very cool. Just get the different look. Ooh, look at that. Ooh. That's pretty scary. Yeah, this is the dimmest setting. Graham says I have some older Coleman stuff, but not a lantern. Yeah, I got this initially for like just to display. It also obviously works, but then later on at like an antique store, I did come across one of the old ones from with the actual pump thing and stuff. So I got that for display, and that's pretty cool. Um, Part of me wants to like get some. Part of me over the years thought about getting some lantern fuel. I guess you can use gas. There's some more closer ones. I, if I'm not mistaken, you can use gas. I don't think I'd feel safe using gas in there, but I've just been too lazy to try it. And you get I get lazy when I get old. There's the people that were blowing off the ones that were close by. Graham's got a cooler and a water jug 70s. Oh yeah, that's cool. Those are probably metal, I bet. Or like the cooler, I bet it's metal. I think I might even have that same water jug you got. I don't have the cooler. See, the batteries are old. It's flickering. I'll probably go back to the other light, but I wanted to do this one uh, for a bit exclusively. Old batteries. Yeah, it was so cool. Like when they made stuff back in the day, like coolers out of metal. I mean, my mom. It kind of breaks my heart because my mom, like her dad, had a really really old, probably like Coleman metal cooler, and like recently she got rid of it and kind of like told me after, and I was, you know, a little bummed, but life goes on, I guess. It's taking up space. Graham says the older lanterns may be unsafe. Yeah, that's one of the reasons like I decided not to try that one I got that actually you use the lantern fuel because I want to live. Potentially looks like 3 viewers. Welcome all. 3 viewers and 1 chatter. There, you hear that? I bet. Yeah, I bet you hear that. But yeah, I really love like the the horror movies, the summer camp or in the woods horror movies, like Just Before Dawn, where you've got people using these, and it's just like that one scene where the guy's like leaning against a tree dead with sunglasses on, and he goes like this and lights them up, and then back to over here, and he thinks he's I think is this the scene where he thinks he's pranking around, and I can't think because of all the noise. Graham found out all the Friday VHS in one score, or oh, Graham found all the Friday the 13th VHS in one score a few years back. It's possible you may have told me then, but that's really cool. Are you talking about like how and going to how far, like eight or beyond eight? You may have said that, maybe not. I don't know. There's a lot of comments over the years. Graham says two is my favorite. Four was mine as his favorite as a kid. Yeah, two is a lot of people's favorites. Keith, I'm pretty sure, and the guy I did the discussions with from the from where does he live? Australia. I think that's his favorite as well. Two's a lot of people's favorites. Okay, so the Paramount Fridays, yeah, one through eight. That was quite the score. Pardon me, everyone, all three of you. Pardon me again, everyone. Pardon me once again. Yeah, chances are you can hear that. Oh, Graham. Oh, okay, I am right. He did tell me then when he got them. He got them at Value Village. Are they EP or extended play or SP? Because I know for a while there, I think in the '90s they put out the Gateway extended play Paramount VHSs, which were just a bummer. I loved how they tried to say high quality extended play like there is such a thing. This is a really cool. This is a really kind of a cool look with this. I'm actually using this thing. Okay, he says originals, so SP I'm hoping. Well, that's very cool. Those are some prized possessions. Yeah, this lantern look with the 8 millimeter film look, pretty cool look on this live stream. Yes, sir. Yeah, I'm glad them people shot off them really loud ones because that's what I was hoping to capture on this stream. Graham doesn't need the others. I'm assuming you're talking about like anything Jason Goes to Hell and Beyond. Yeah, I'm right with you there. Oh my god. New Line Jason movies. Ugh, there's something that really pissed me off. What's so great, and I've talked about this before, about like the Paramount Friday the 13th, is the first one was the first year of the 80s, and the last one, part 8, was the last year of the 80s. I mean, that is so cool to me. I still pretty much only watch 1 through 7 when I do, but 8 is, yeah, at least it's cool that the last Paramount Friday the 13th was the last year of the 80s. Yes, sir. And nearly 2 hour stream here. I'm surprised my back is not completely dead. It's almost completely dead. I think I'll go, there we go. I'll go for a little while longer and don't want to end before these big bangs end. We got 3 viewers, so I don't want to bail on you too early. What the, let's see what time it is. Ow, 10:26. This is a pretty cool look. Graham says he almost seen part 6 at the drive-in, but never did back when he was 10. Yeah, I got the same thing with you might have heard me tell the same story about part 7. Like me and Dad in the spring of '88, we like, on our own, we'd seen like on TV the little trailer, the little TV spot for Jason 7 or Friday 7, and we were thinking, I remember having this talk with him being like, should we go see that? That looks kind of goofy fun. And oh my God, I wish we had. We never did. I don't know why we decided not to go, but my dad, I remember us having that talk. Should we go see that? Oh, I would have loved to have seen part 7 in the theater, but alas, the first one I'd see in the theater is Jason Takes Manhattan a year later. But it's one of those, like, oh my God, it's what ifs that is just a bummer. Same thing with Summer Rental. I remember being at my grandma's when Summer Rental was in the theater, and we were in the basement looking at the show times in the paper, and the Summer Rental, little poster was on there, black and white newspaper, and I imagine I knew who John Candy was, and maybe already was kind of a fan. I don't remember, but I remember wanting to go see it and talking to Grandma, like, well, can we go see Summer Rental, and her being like kind of on the fence, like maybe, and ultimately deciding not to see Summer Rental because maybe she thought it was more adult themed or whatever. I mean, when you're a grandma, you're going to protect a grandkid or whatever. And also probably she hadn't, who knows when the last time she had been to a movie, if she'd ever been to a movie. You can't blame her for not wanting to go to Summer Rental. But that's another thing that was just kind of like, God, it would have been cool to have seen Summer Rental in the theater. But things that just weren't meant to be, I guess. But that Friday the 13th part 7 one where me and Dad were like, should we go see that? That looks like kind of fun, like goofy fun. Because it was in the TV spot, I imagine it was like that. Where are you big hunk of a man? Come and get me. And this machete coming down and cutting open the tent. We thought it just looked like fun, and rightfully so, because it's fun. But didn't get to see it in the theater. Jose's here. He says, Nate, thank you for everything you do. Well, you're quite welcome, and thanks for that heartfelt. It's hard to know if you're BSing me or if that's real, but that heartfelt comment that you left on the celebrating 13 years of the channel, whether that was real or fake, it was nice. Even if it was fake, it was nice. So you're very welcome, and thanks for being a viewer for all these years. And if you're honestly, if what you say is true about, me making a difference, I don't see how, but if that's true, I'm glad I make a difference in a good way. Graham says, did I see Monster Squad and Big Trouble? Are you talking about Big Trouble in Little China or simply Big Trouble? I don't think I've seen either of those. I've seen Big Trouble in Little China. I actually got to see that in the theater. Yeah, Big Trouble in Little China was like my first introduction to like kung fu. Like, later on I'd go, a childhood friend by the name of Willie would introduce me to American Ninja, and I'd get into ninjas like in the late '80s, and then in '89 I'd see Revenge of the Ninja, and I was just ninja nuts in the late '80s. You can see some old '89 video of me being ninja nuts. I think there's a video on the channel, this channel called Ninja Nate, and I'm, doing my ninja stuff as a 12-year-old. Graham says yes. I don't know what he's saying yes to. I think maybe you mean Big Trouble in Little China. Yeah, if that's what you mean, I saw that in the theater. And I don't think I've seen Monster Squad yet. I know that's one that most people would assume, me being, from the generation that I am, most people would assume I'd seen it, but I haven't. Maybe one day. That was a weird sound. I don't know if that was captured. Graham says the Ninja Trilogy was big. There you go. And what's so goofy about it is it's like I didn't know for the longest time until like recently that it was really even a trilogy. Like you got, what was it? So Enter the Ninja, Revenge of the Ninja, and Ninja 3. And I just thought it was so sloppy titling. Because I was like, in the 80s, I'm like, Ninja 3, what is it the 3 of? Because there isn't a Ninja 1 or 2. It's just, yeah. But I think Enter the Ninja was actually one of the first ninja movies that like started or contributed to starting the ninja craze of the 80s, which was so freaking fun. I can still watch them ninja movies now and just be like, oh, those are so fun. Yeah, Graham says canon stuff. Exactly. They contributed so hugely to, oh, just action movies in the 80s. What a company. Whew. Ha. Ooh. I'll let you look at that while I stretch. Probably not going to go for crazy much longer. I think we might have experienced all the major bangs and booms. Here, while I'm stretching, I'll turn on the other light. Oh my God. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, I sure do like summer. I sure prefer summer to winter, I'll tell you that. Oh. Oh. Jose says Cyborg 89, Jean-Claude Van Damme. You got that right. Graham says the pine walls look good. Yeah, aren't these wood walls fun? I'm a rustic kind of a guy. I love the old rustic rustic stuff. What time is it? 10:34. I'd say the big booms are probably more or less over. And I'm probably not going to be going for crazy much longer, but I certainly do appreciate when I started this thing, like if you guys want to go back and watch the beginning, like it was the beginning was funny because it was like no one was showing up and I was like, yeah, I don't know how long I'm going to be doing this if no one shows up. It's happened before in radio shows and stuff, but just trying to, exist waiting for people to show up was always funny, but it's like even more funny when the camera's on me because it's like, yeah, is anyone gonna show up? I'm like doing this on a holiday. I didn't know if anyone was gonna show up, but thank you for showing up. Graham says he watches summer stuff in the summer and winter in the winter. Yeah, see, I'm exactly the same way. I mean, who the hell wants to watch winter movies in the summer? I sure as hell don't. Although I did watch, and the review will be up whenever it comes up in a matter of weeks or whatever. But I did see I don't even know how to pronounce it, and I didn't know how to pronounce it in the review. The Boogans, early '80s, Boogens, I think. That took place in the winter. I saw that on YouTube, so I did watch that. But yeah, generally, same thing. Winter stuff in the winter, summer stuff in the summer. And honestly, you could watch summer stuff in the winter to help kind of break the monotony of winter. But I like watching stuff in the time of year that it takes place in. Call me nuts. Graham says that's good Canadian. Are you talking about the Boogans? What's good Canadian? The Boogans? Yeah, the one thing I did like about that is the winter atmosphere and stuff. You can see my review. Okay, yep, he said it must be a Canadian movie. I think I even hypothesized that in my review. Like, where was this filmed? I bet Canada. I think I said that. I can't remember, but that review will be up. Who the hell knows? Weeks from now. I'm like backlogged like a month. Like I'm just do so many videos that I'm like a month behind. I've got a month work. Like 3 weeks of them, all stacked up, ready to publish. Yep. So that review will be coming out whenever the hell it comes out. Yeah, the reason I watched it is because I became aware of the fact that it was on Kino Lorber Blu-ray, and I'm like, should I get the Blu-ray? And I watched it, and I'm like, I like aspects of it, but I don't think I'll buy it. It's so fun. I've said this a bazillion times to see, older movies from the '80s or '70s or whatever for the first time, because there's so many movies made that you can spend the rest of your life seeing like movies from the good old days for the first time. You don't have to watch the new stuff that's coming out now. You can watch the old stuff you never saw. So that's fun. It's kind of like living just eternally in this one era, I think there's a mosquito biting me. Pretty steady 3 viewers for a while. Thank you everyone for showing up. My back could be better, but yeah, like I say, probably not gonna go crazy much longer. 10:38. Can I go to 11? Probably go to 11. Maybe. Graham says there's another one from '81 similar about the how do you say that? Windango? Okay. I know it's probably not the same one, but Keith showed me this one last winter, or the winter before, I don't know. He showed me one called Frostbiter or some crap. It was like a really kind of a bad Evil Dead 2 rip-off kind of thing that took place in the winter. But well, it can't be an Evil Dead 2 rip-off if it's from 1981, so it must not be it. But yeah, that's kind of bad. Keith also showed me this one from, I don't know if it was late '80s, Winter Beast. We have fun with the schlock horrible stuff too, Let me take a look at something real quick. Uh-huh. Graham says they're on snowmobiles and trapped at a resort. That sounds familiar. I might have seen that a while back. That sounds familiar. Huh. Graham says it's on YouTube. Okay. Yeah, maybe I'll check it out if I feel so inclined. Sounds familiar. I remember seeing something with people on snowmobiles trapped at a. Huh. Okay. Graham says if I remember, I'll let you know. Remember what? That really looks cool, just sitting there like that. I think it might look better with the other lighting stuff up, but this in addition looks kind of cool. And with this film look, sometimes you can see the specks in the light. That's really cool. Oh, the title. Okay, I appreciate that. Yeah, chances are I've seen it, but it'd be nice to know if it's the same one I've seen. Pardon me, all two of you. What do we got for time? 42. Yeah, we'll go to 11, and then I'm gonna hang her on up. Hang her up. Oh yeah, Graham says it looks like a bug on the lantern. The film, the 8 millimeter film specs. Yeah, it's like it looks like gnats and stuff. Eh, 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 eh. That's true. That is true. I just love that stuff in the first Friday the 13th, where the movie's so old it just you'd never see anything like that in a movie now, where the movie just stops to like show a guy lighting two lanterns, you know. And same with like Alice making, when Bill's out like making coffee for his hopeful, well, presumed return, and just the movie just lets this stuff happen in one shot. It is just I love that so much. And you think you'd ever see anything in a movie like that now? And if you showed a teenager that scene now, they'd be like, "Oh my God, it's so boring. Like, there's no cuts. There's no 10 different angles of him. Her making coffee. Yeah, I do a lot of bitching, don't I? That's what happens when you get on in years. You turn into the old. I was gonna say hag. What's a male version of a hag? Geezer? Yeah, probably geezer. I don't think women are geezers. Women are hags and men are geezers. I don't know. Graham says the first of two I don't really go for. The first of two, I don't know what that means. Graham says almost 50. You're talking about your age. Yeah, you're the one born in the same year I am, I think. So yeah, I don't know what that means though. The first of two I don't really go for. I don't know what that means. What time is it? T minus 15 minutes of show and counting. The first of two Fridays you don't really go for. I guess I don't know what that means. I mean, yeah, I mean, the second weren't you the one who said the second one's your favorite, or was that someone else? Yeah, I think the majority of like the fireworks stuff is over. So it was cool to do this. Admittedly, I probably started a little early, but I didn't want to miss any explosions. So I wanted to like, be streaming all the way through. Graham says the beginning where Alice is found and killed. Oh, you mean oh, of part two. Yeah, that's a bummer. Oh, you probably meant the first part, the first part of Friday too. You don't like? Yeah, I hear you. I mean, like, what's the point of doing that? I guess at the time that was their way of saying, Jason's so bad he's gonna kill the girl that survived in the first movie. Yeah, I mean, I could do without that scene as well, and I often thought it'd be so cool if they ever, like, back when they were thinking about the Crystal Lake TV show or whatever, if you ever did another one with Adrienne King returning as Alice, like she could, in a perfect world, I thought of this really fun scene where you could have her, being killed in Friday the 13th part two, and then her waking up from that horrible nightmare. So like how she woke up in the beginning of Friday too. So like that's my way of saying she never got killed. She was just that scene at the beginning of Friday 2 was just the nightmare she's having. So that's what I'd do if I ever had Adrienne King back and make her wake up. It'd be like an homage to the beginning of Friday 2 where she's having the nightmare about the first film, but then it'd be kind of fun. As you can see, I'm making this water last as long as possible. I should have grabbed two, but I grabbed one. I lived. Graham says my brother worked with a producer of Friday 2. Almost seems like you may have mentioned that before as well. That seems familiar. That's really cool. Worked with them on what, if I may ask? And what producer? Can you name him? Maybe I'll be like, oh, that guy. Graham says he may have mentioned it. Yeah, it possibly sounds familiar. Well, at least the flickering of that chilled out. Graham says some movie I forgot. Murphy was his last name. Trying to think. Okay. Very cool. Jose says Corey Feldman and Danielle Harris, two awesome kid actors. Yeah, yeah, you got that right. I had such a crush on her in Halloween 4 and 5. I think I said it before. She's just a year older or a year younger than me and pardon me and Graham. So yeah, I was like I was watching Halloween 4. And everyone was bullying her, and I just wish I was just like, I'd be your friend. You're cute. That's what I was thinking in my head. It was really cool. One of the things that I don't really like Halloween 5 anymore, but seeing it, that was the first one I saw in the theater. It was really cool. Like a year later, well, it wasn't a year because I'd seen Halloween 4 for the first time in the spring of '89, but then later on, probably in October of '89, to see those characters back, like the older sister and Daniel Harris characters, to see them back like a year older was cool. That was cool. Graham says Halloween 4 is good. Yeah, I can watch that now. Like 5 is I have a hard time watching because all kinds of reasons. Tina doesn't help, and there's other things too. But I do appreciate like the French avant-garde feel to it. And I'm one of the people who actually likes the mask with the big neck that's just like swooping. Like I like the 5 mask. It's so funny how like I liked it probably a lot more when I originally saw it when it was new on home video, and like your tastes about certain movies completely change over the course of time, and some of them don't. It's just weird. Graham says 4. Let me. It disappeared. It'd be nice if it just stay up. 4 is really 3 a trilogy. So you're talking like, oh yeah, yeah. It's really Halloween 3. Okay, yeah. So 1, 2, and 4, which should be 3. Yeah, that's one of the bum. And I mean, I like Halloween 3, but that's one of the things that's annoying is that they called it Halloween 3. Should have just been Halloween Season of the Witch, but they wanted to capitalize on I don't know what it is. Just bad move. Should have been Halloween Season of the Witch, and then you could have had Halloween 3 in '88. Yeah, I'm right there with you. That would have been Michael returning 10 years later. Pardon me. I'm right there with you. Well, T minus 8 minutes and counting. T minus 7 minutes and counting. Well, as we're wrapping up, I do want to take this opportunity to thank everyone who showed up. That was cool. It was nice to do this through the main kaboom time of fireworks, 4th of July 2024. Jose says, "Oh, the deep conversation at the end of the show. I think you might have asked this before at a fire." Jose asks if I believe in life after death. And my answer is, I got this huge affinity for the first half of the 20th century. Like ever since I was exposed to everything from the 30s and 40s, the music, the movies like King Kong, 1933, like the clothes, the architecture, everything. I always loved black and white movies. I just love like the 20s, 30s, and 40s. So to me, does that mean there's like the reincarnation? I mean, it's possible. I mean, to me, it's a lot of evidence to suggest it. Like, why would I just gravitate so heavily towards an era that has happened before I was alive? It's anyone's guess, but it's possible that I don't think that reincarnation is an impossibility. I mean, I love the 20s, 30s, and 40s, like movies and just the era, music, the architecture, the cars, the fashions. Like I feel like it's partly like my alternate childhood or alternate lifehood. That's the best answer I got is like, I mean, there's probably other people that, that like the people who like the old Renaissance era and all this kind of stuff, or maybe the old West, and that's my answer. Is I'm sure drawn to the first half of the 20th century, and why is that? It's not like I have like really care about the '60s or It's so funny how like, I don't really care about the six. Like it's just like then kind of the '60s kind of off put me. So that's my answer, Jose. 5 minutes left to show. That's the best I got on that answer. It's I think it's possible that there's reincarnation and we just come back and back and back to try to, through these flesh suits, try to learn lessons or something. Maybe try to become better, non-physical entities. The only way we can experience certain things or to get to a higher place of being is going through trials and tribulations as flesh suits, like VR, like people plugging into VR and experiencing stuff they wouldn't be able to otherwise experience. Like, I don't know. What's it all mean? But I guess that's my answer. But ever since I was like 13, 14, like when Dick Tracy came out, that was like my first exposure to like that era. And like, wow, you know, I don't know about the music because the music was kind of contemporary. There's a little bit of kind of contemporary songs in that movie, but like the fashion and the cars and stuff. And then when I saw like Rocketeer in '91, I'm like, wow. And then yeah, I just exposed to this era that I really hadn't been exposed to before. I was just like this instant love affair. So that's my answer. Hope that helps, Jose, and anyone else watching now or after the fact. But oh, Graham says thank you. You're very welcome. I don't know what maybe my thoughts on that or the show in general. Sure. Now when I'm leaving, 4 viewers. That's how it goes. About 3 minutes left. Well, thank you very much, everyone, for showing up. Oh, this is Jose's brother, I think, his follower. He says, hi, happy Independence Day. Same to you, Jose's brother. It's just the end of the show, I'm afraid, but you can watch the whole thing from the beginning. Me fumbling over what the hell to do for the first 30 minutes or so, wondering if I should just stop or not. That's happened before, not on a video though. It's just kind of weird sitting in front of a camera. Just then we're gonna show up. If it's aiming at the fire, it's not as awkward. He says his follower says cool ribs and fries. I don't know if he just ate that or if that's what he wants to eat. Yeah, those are good. Sure, make me hungry, why don't you? Well, here, this really lasted a long time. That's oh wow, it looks so different. It looked pretty cool with that on there. How long did we go for? 153-ish minutes. I guess, well, I gotta wait until it's 11. His follower says, have a nice nap time. I will do, and you as well. Thanks everyone for showing up, and I think I can probably end now. Well, I don't want to be a liar. I'll wait till it says 11. Almost there. Graham says, did you just jump some YouTuber advertised? Did you just jump some YouTuber advertise ahead of time? I don't know what you mean. Yeah, advertising. I have like in past made videos and announced live streams ahead of time. It doesn't really. You don't end up with more people. He says jump on. Yeah, I don't know what he's talking about. But anyway, it's 11 and my back hurts and my neck hurts, so I'm gonna. Yeah, you got it right. Coleman advertisement. You better believe it. This is a really cool battery-powered two-mantle Coleman lantern that has the look of the old Coleman lantern, and get one, you'll love it. On sale now. Thanks a lot, everyone, and I'm dead. I gotta go.